Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of One Size Beauty, creating this makeup look that you see here. Now, the thing that stemmed this whole video was me repurchasing this One Size Beauty Turn Up the Base Concealer. I fell in love with this. If you have watched any of my videos in like recent months, you would have seen this, but I had to pick that up again. And then recently Patrick Starrr released the bronzer trios as well as the blush clappers. So I'm going to be trying these out as well as the Beauty Blur Balm. I already had a video up with the One Size eyeshadow palette. I will link that down below, but I wanted to create a different look using this palette with shades that I had never used from it before. And so let's just go ahead and get right in. So it has been a minute since I filmed. I'm going to be catching you guys up in this video, but we're going to go ahead and just get right in. As you can tell, I'm going to be starting with the eyes. Now, the only thing I have on my face thus far is just my moisturizer. And today I'm using this one from Freck. It's the Rich Bitch, and I've been using this quite a bit. I got this in an Ipsy bag, but anytime I'm like really dry or I just am using a foundation that is more for like oily type skin, I always go in for a super moisturizing moisturizer, and this is a good one, so I wanted to mention it. But I have on that, and then I also primed my lids with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into the eyes. So here is the One Size eyeshadow palette here. The design of it, if you're not familiar, it's got like this lip that hangs over right here. It's supposed to be for like if you have nails. This will be an easy palette for you to open to kind of grab the edge of this and lift it up. That was the design behind it. But as you can tell, it's got a big mirror in here, and you're getting 15 different eyeshadow shades. I believe this normally retails for $44, but on Sephora right now, this is on sale for 22 bucks. So if you're interested in picking this palette up, now would be a good time. Now, this palette primarily is a very neutral tone palette. Like if I cover up these 4 shades right here, this is all neutral eyeshadows. Now, there's also a lot more mattes in this palette than there are shimmers. This is a 15 pan eyeshadow palette, and 10 of the shadows in here are completely matte. Now, for me, that doesn't make a big deal. I do love a shimmer. Like I usually always put a shimmer on the lid, but I do like that this is a really good like companion type palette to use alongside any of your other palettes. Of course, you can get a full look with this palette as well. I feel like looking at this, most people are going to do like a gold smoky eye. That's something that Patrick Starrr does all the time. I feel like he has that look on quite a lot. So I think, yeah, just in general for everyday, this is a great palette, but I think I'm going to stick more in this like bluish silver here because I feel like most people wouldn't initially go into that shade, you know? So I want to do a look out there for that one. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think I am going to start with Taupe of My Game, which is the shade here. As usual, you guys know I'm going to be doing one eye on camera, one eye off of camera, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with a big fluffy blending brush. This is from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is brush number 26. Now, this palette in particular, I want to give this shade right here a shout out, this cream shade. That is such a blurring shadow. Like putting that on your inner corner and like even bringing it down under the eyes a little bit just gives you that bright eye effect. And it's really just, like I said, a smoothing, blurring type shade. I love it for under the eye. All right, so here is that taupe shade. Now, where have I been? So work has been crazy, but not only that, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that my husband has been kind of sick, and I had to take him back to the emergency room again, and he was transferred to Charleston in USC. He didn't have to stay very long this time, just a day, but it was pretty serious, and yeah, I mean, we've just been dealing with this for like 8 months straight now, and that's about where we're at. All right, I really like that shade. I love the cool tone brown, and I love that in this palette you are getting like cooler tones as well as warmer tones in here. This is like everything that you need for like a brown smoky eye. All right, I think I'm going to take like this little packer brush. This is actually from Lunar Beauty. This is brush number 5. And as you can tell, it's just kind of a thicker eyeshadow packing brush. And I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is Turban Legend. And I think having that dark brown and the black in this palette was very smart. I'm just going to pack this black on the outer corner. I'm gonna kind of smoke it out on the lash line as well. But yeah, so anyway, going on with my story, in 8 months, this time here was the 11th hospitalization and the 13th time we have been to the ER. So we're just all kind of starting to get tired, you know, and what's frustrating is that what he has, and I will link it down below, like when I went into like discussing what actually was going on with him a few months ago, it's just not common, specifically in his age. And so we're really not getting any answers. We're not any further along really than we were in November when this all started. So yeah. All right, now I think I'm going to go in with this Rebel Gray color here, and I'm just going to go into that on my finger. All right, I'm going to go back into this Turban Legend shade, that black, and just kind of intensify the black over here. Just kind of going back and forth just to make sure it's a nice, seamless blend. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to go into a little liner brush, and again, I'm going back in with that black, the Turban Legend shade. And this silver, it even has like a little bit of like a bluish purple tint to it. All right, and I'm just going to put that along the lash line. All right, I'm going to go into a tiny little blending brush, and I'm going to go back into this taupe shade. And I get a little bit of that. I'm going to look down, and right where that shimmer starts, I'm just going to blend this taupe. Just because I want that to be very seamless as well. That is going to be it on the eyes. I am going to go ahead, catch up the other eye, and then we'll be back for the base. Okay, so I have both eyes done now, and in case anyone wanted to see how I clean my eyes up, I wanted to do that on camera really quick, so I just have a clean makeup remover wipe. I'm just going to fold that, so I've got like a nice thick line here, and I am just going to rub this underneath my eye and kind of connecting where the brow ends. I'm just going to gently pull that up. Now on the edge, I like to kind of tap this with my finger because I think it makes it look softer. That could all just be in my head, but as you can tell, you can see, you know, kind of what we got off. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. And there you go. Nice, clean, sharp lines. All right, moving along, the moisturizer has like fully sunken into my skin, so I feel like it's kind of dry again. And so I'm going to go ahead and put on a primer. Now this is one from Skin Inc. This is like Skin Inc. supplement bar is what it says, but this is a serum glow filter, and it is like a primer slash serum kind of all in one. It's supposed to be very glowy, and as you guys know, I have very dry skin, and this makeup is supposed to be for more like oily, acne prone skin. And what I'm talking about today that we're going to be using is this right here. This is the Turn Up the Base. This is the Beauty Blur Balm. And so a lot of people that have oily skin, you know, I've seen their reviews on it and they love it. So I want to make sure that me having a drier skin, I'm really giving this like its best chance to work. So I want to fully prep the skin. Now this retails for $33. There are, I think, 18 different shades. I have mine in the shade Fair 2R, which is fair with rosy undertones. Now the rest of the stuff that we're going to be using in this video is going to be the concealer, and I have mine in the shade Light 1R. So I have Fair 2 and then I have Light 1, both of these with rosy undertones. And then I picked up one of the bronzer trios. I picked mine up in Fair, and whatever like foundation shade that you use, you're supposed to pick up the same shade in the bronzers. So these bronzer trios come in 6 different shades and they retail for $36. Similarly to that are the cheek clappers. Now there were 6 different shades of this as well, and I picked up 3. So I have Firestarter, Freaky Peach, and Rich Betch, and these retail for $36 as well. These come with like a cream blush, then they have like a matte blush, and then there's like a shimmery like blush topper type shade in these. I thought all of the shades for these were beautiful, but I figured I would use one today that I feel like is less popular online. Like I don't hear much about this one, and it is the shade Rich Bitch. So that is kind of like what we're going to be doing in this video. I also have a little sample of the translucent powder. Now this you can actually buy, and this retails for $16. That is fucking insane for a little powder like this. I would always say go for the big one as far as powders go, but this does come in 2 shades, a translucent and then like a darker one for light, dark to dark skin tones. But yeah, so I am interested to try that. I did pick up his powder foundation. The powder foundation is here. This retails for $33, and there are 32 different shades. The shade matcher on Sephora did me so dirty. This is the shade that it picked. I feel like I could use this for like a full coverage bronzer, and that may be how I end up using this. I did use this all over my face. I have a video of it. I will link it down below, even though it's super cringy because I feel like look pretty Oompa Loompa at first whenever I put this on. Finished look ended up okay. This is a really, really full coverage powder, and I did just want to give this a shout out. I don't know if I'll specifically be using this in this video, but I did want to give it a shout out. All of that to say, we're gonna go in with the Beauty Blur Balm. Now this is 1 fluid ounce, so it's standard size. I love the packaging on this. I think it is so nice. I feel like it's classy, but it's a little something different too with the red. I love squeeze tubes. I feel like you can get every last little bit out of these. I feel like this would be really convenient to travel with. It says you can apply this with your fingers, a sponge, or a brush. And I will say foundations like this, I usually apply with my fingers. So that is what I'm gonna do. It is supposed to be a medium coverage and a natural finish. There is a seal on here, so I'm just gonna take that off. Oh, and this is kind of cool. Like, this is not in the center, right? Let me go ahead and put my little top back on here. But it is like a top like that, which I thought it would just be like a screw off. All right, so it does say to apply this on the back of your hand and like kind of start to get it emollient and melted in if you are going to use a sponge or a brush. But since I'm going to be using my fingers, I'm just going to get a little bit and I'm just going to start mixing it together with my fingertips. Now, I love applying foundation with my fingers. I think it really just helps to melt everything in and to really get a seamless blend. Now with your under eye, you definitely want to be careful not to be, you know, kind of tugging that area for sure. But yeah, this is supposed to be just a really blurring foundation, and one that is actually supposed to help with your oils over time as well, to minimize and reduce your oils. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this is really geared towards people with oily, acne prone skin. It feels kind of like a powder finish even, and it's kind of moussey as far as the texture goes. Now, what stemmed this foundation purchase was actually that concealer. If you've watched any of my older videos, me and this concealer went through a phase. Like, when I had it in my collection, it was all that I was using. It is such a good concealer. Like, it's very thin, but it also has really good coverage, and that is like win-win for me. Best of both worlds. All right, so I definitely can still see like my redness coming through on my nose. This does not feel like greasy or balmy at all. Like I said, it really just kind of dried down. It feels basically kind of like a powdery type finish, but like it doesn't feel like I have anything on my face. So, I mean, very, very lightweight. And I mean, it does have pretty good coverage. It definitely has some like blurring effects to it, I will say that. So far I like it, but I'm gonna see if I can like build it up here just in the very center of my face. So I'm gonna take a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of warm that up in my hands, and just gonna kind of tap it on here. You guys will have to let me know if you have tried this foundation and if, you know, how you apply it. I just, if something says to use your fingers in the instructions, that's usually what I tend to do, because I just, again, I think it is so fast and really, you guys know how I like everything to be so blended. I feel like this just really does the best job. All right, so I definitely think it's buildable, as you could tell here in the center of my face, but I don't think you're ever going to get that super full coverage. I would say this is like a high medium coverage for me. Feels really nice on the skin. Again, so lightweight, feels like I have on nothing. It definitely is blurring, I will say that. And as far as the shade goes, I think I did a pretty good job picking this out online. I think I could have went maybe like one shade up, but I have gone to the beach recently and I am self-tanning. So I think generally speaking, this would be like my color. So, but there are 18 different shades in here. So I feel like it's pretty accommodating and inclusive as far as the shade range goes. All right, now let's go into a tried and true. This is one of my favorite concealers ever. This is now my second tube of this. This is the Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. I have mine in the shade Light 1R. Again, this retails for $25. It is a huge tube. This has 0.24 fluid ounces in it, and there are 24 different shades of this concealer. I like how this one has kind of like a peachy undertone as well. So I feel like it really just goes in there and cancels out any darkness that I have going on. So I'm just going to kind of put this all over the center of my face. And the way that I personally like to blend this out is just with a big fluffy little concealer brush. This is one from Luxie and I love it so much. It's so fast to blend out. I usually will do under my eyes last, but I love this concealer because it works well with like every foundation that I have. And what I mean by that is the more like everyday ones, like those very thin kind of like no makeup type days where you just want to throw, you know, like a tinted moisturizer on and get out the door or whatever. This concealer works so good with those types of foundations, like serum foundations and things like that, which I tend to wear a lot. This just blends in seamlessly. All right, so this is it for the base as of right now. I'm going to go ahead and set everything down with the One Size Loose Setting Powder. Again, I have mine in the shade Translucent. I have not tried this powder before, so this will be new to me as well. I got this in a little sample bag at Sephora. And that's a tip, if you guys are shopping online at Sephora on the app, make sure you're looking in the offers. You can usually always get 2 free gifts with every purchase. And then you can also add offers, like if you spend over $25 or if you spend over $35, there are different offers that you can get. So I'm just going to take a Laura Mercier lid that I have, and I'm going to dump some of this translucent powder into that. All right, so there we go there. Now I am going to take this little puff here. Now I'm just gonna kind of like, get it on my puff here. And I'm just going to pat this under my eyes, because that is the area I feel like always creases, and I just want it to be like nice and bright under there, specifically because we are doing such like a smoky eye. Now this sponge from Patrick, it is super thick. That's the only thing I will say. I feel like it could be a little bit thinner even, but it is a very good sponge. And with this powder foundation, I feel like if you are using this for a foundation, you need to get these two things together. This makes this powder so full coverage. Like, that is a full ass coverage powder foundation, which I have never come across. All right, now I'm gonna go in with a brush. I put a little bit more powder in there, and I'm just going to pat this around the rest of my face. Even though I have dry skin, I always set my face, because I'm one of those people, I don't like to fuss with my makeup. I like to do it one time in the morning and then be done. I don't want to have to look at it. I don't want to have to check on it. I want it to be looking good, you know, for the rest of the day. All right, so this is the powder. Again, I feel like it is pretty blurring, but it is also, I just feel like really dry right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray, just to kind of start melding some of these powders together. I feel like that's pretty dry now. We are gonna go ahead and go into the Made for Shade. This is the Bronze and Sculpt Trio. So there's supposed to be like a cool tone, a warm tone, and a neutral tone shade in here. These are all powders, and again, I have mine in the shade Fair. Now, this is what this powder looks like. So it's a pretty decent size. I will show you the powder foundation beside it. This is like kind of bigger than a normal compact. So this is very big. For comparison, here's my Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. Let me pull something else that you guys might be familiar with. A Milani bronzer, so you can tell the size of this. All right, open it up. I've got a little cover, and then this is what it looks like. It does have a nice mirror in here. Now, these are pretty light shades. Whenever I purchased this, it was during the Sephora VIB, like the Rouge sale. This had like just dropped when that sale started for Rouge members, and a lot of the shades were sold out. So it was between this or medium, and I feel like medium looked a little too deep. So I'm hoping that this will work for me. They say if you use the Fair foundation, you should be using the Fair bronzer, so we're about to test that out. I think the shade I'm going to start off with is this one in the center right here, and this one just kind of looks more of like a cool tone shade to me. You can see it, that's for sure. I was wondering if this was going to show up on my skin. That's actually nice, guys. Wow. I really didn't expect this color to like work that well on me, but I feel like it looks really natural. Like this is with nothing over here, and then this is with the powder. I don't know, I just feel like it looks nice. You guys will have to let me know what you think. But I would say these definitely come off a little darker on your face than they do in the pan. So if you're in store looking at these, trying to make a decision, I would just say keep that in mind. All right, so all of this really I have just been going in with this cooler tone shade in the center. Now I think I'm gonna go in with some of this shade at the bottom and kind of get that more just like on my actual cheek. Just kind of blending, creating a nice gradient. Oh yeah, this is nice. I was very skeptical about the shade that I got, but this actually worked really well. I'm really excited about this. Something else I'm super excited about are the blushes. Now, as I mentioned, I did get 3 different shades. These are the Cheek Clapper Trios, and let's just go ahead and get into the shades, shall we? First off, I want to show you Firestarter. The packaging on these is so cute. So you can definitely tell the difference in the bronzer trios and the blush trios. They look completely different. I will say again, kind of like with the Jaclyn Cosmetics branding, the raised packaging I am not a huge fan of. I just feel like it makes things more difficult to store. But I do love that in these, again, you're getting that nice big mirror. And over the cream products, you do have a nice little lid. So that is very nice that you're not getting that powder residue and kick up into the cream product. So I love that aspect of this design. Then you have got your matte shade and your shimmer blush or your topper, however you want to use it. But this is Firestarter, and I feel like this during the summer just looks so healthy. Like pair this with a warm smoky eye, and I think this would be beautiful. Like if you use this doing a gold smoky eye from that palette, I think that would be so nice. Next up is Freaky Peach. This is the one that right time I saw these shades released, I was like, yes, I am getting that one for sure. So this is the peach one here, and again, I love peaches. Right time I saw this one, I knew I had to have it. And then next up is Rich Bitch. This is the one that we will be using today. And this is that color story there. So it is like just I feel like a berry type tone. I love shades like this. So we're gonna go ahead and go right in. I'm gonna start with the cream first. I'm gonna try to go in with the brush that I always use for creams. This does feel like it's a little big for this area, but we'll see. This is actually like a Wet n Wild powder brush, but I love this brush for cream blushes. And I'm just going to blend this out on the cheek. That is pigmented, hunty. This is one of the darker shades in the collection, but I just wanted to see if this would work for me because I love like berry mauve-y type shades like this. Okay, a little bit overboard, but I feel like I like this cheek better. I used a little bit less over here on this side. Oh yeah. All right, whatever is left on my brush, I am just going to bring up to my temples. And again, just kind of going over with nothing on the brush again, just over my cheeks, just to help blend everything together. Love that. Super easy to apply, super easy to blend out. And again, even with the darkest color, I feel like this looks decent. So you guys will have to let me know if you think otherwise. I'm gonna go in with a blush brush. And I think what I'm going to do, I really want to mix these two together, but for the sake of this video, I think I'm going to apply this one and then apply this one on top just so we can kind of see what each does by itself. So I'm going to take my LaRousse blush brush. Any fluffy blending brush will do. I may have got too much on here. Ooh, I think I did get too much, but I love a good blush. I definitely got too much, guys. All right, so if that happens, I'm just going to take a big, huge, fluffy blending brush, nothing on here, and I'm just going to run this over my cheek. I feel like this just helps everything. I use this brush every single day, one of my most used brushes. This is one that's been discontinued, but you can still find it on like eBay, Amazon. I'll have it linked down below, but this is one that Jaclyn Hill released with Morphe. Those brushes were so good. All right, so you see how that just looks better now? Everything all good again. Now I'm going to go in with this brush again, and I'm going to go into the shimmer. And you can definitely see that shimmer that's picking up. So this cheek has it. This cheek does not. You can definitely see the difference between the two. I love the shimmer shade, honestly. Love it. Again, it is pigmented though. So since I put that on again, I'm gonna go in with my magic brush here and just blend everything together. Very blush heavy today. But because we have that topper on, I don't think I really need any highlighter because that is, you know, picking up some light. All right, so out of all of these blush trios, there's like really one more that I want to pick up, and it's like She's Very That or something. It's Very That, I think is what it's called. But yeah, these are really, really good. All of the cheap products I tried, I am very impressed with. And again, I am not going to use this, but I feel like this could even be kind of like one of the shades in this trio and just kind of help sculpt and bronze up the cheek area for me, since I got a shade that's a little bit too dark. All right, going back into the eyeshadow palette, I'm going to go back into Turban Legend, and I'm going to pick that up on a little liner brush. I am going to tap this off, And basically what I want to do with this is get it very close to my lower lash line. Then I'm going to go into a little pencil brush, and I'm going to go into that taupe shade again that we first went in with. I tap that off, and I'm just going to blend this all along the lower lash line, just to soften up that black. Right, and then just because I really kind of want to keep everything to this palette, I'm going to go into this cream shade here. I'm going to pop that right on the inner corner. And you'll see how this has like a little bit of like a pink type of an undertone to it. It is just so brightening. I love it. All right, I am going to go ahead and do my eyebrows and my mascara off camera, put on a lipstick, and then I'll be back to run through the entire collection. Alright guys, so this is the completed makeup look, and I really like it. It is outside of my comfort zone for sure, but I feel like everything looks really good. I do want to show you what I put on my lips. So I used MAC syrup, which is a classic, one of my favorites from MAC. If you have not tried this one, highly recommend. Great everyday shade. But I topped it with the ColourPop in Star Wars. This is in the shade Elite, the Luxe lip gloss. And I think that these two together just look so nice, specifically paired with this eye. And I feel like this eye gives me like periwinkle smoky eye type vibes. I don't have anything else like this to my knowledge. I also put on my MAC. This is the Hot and Naughty 2 Black Lash. MAC mascaras are so good. If you have not tried any, this is a good one, and it is still for sale. I'll have it linked down below. All of the products mentioned today, I will have linked down below. But let's talk about the stuff from One Size Beauty. First off, I want to talk about the thing that kind of stemmed this whole video, and that was me repurchasing the Turn Up the Base concealer. This has been a love for so long. I knew when I ran out I was going to pick up a new one. So for $25, yes, highly recommend. I love this so much. The Beauty Blur Balm. I feel like this is such a unique formula. Again, it felt very moussey, but when I applied it, it just kind of dried down into like a powder finish, and that's where I can definitely see where the oil control would come from. So if you have oily skin, again, this is more geared towards oily, acne-prone skin, but for dry girls like me, I feel like this would be a great one for the summer. That is why I picked this up. And again, I love that you can apply this with your fingers. It just makes it so fast and easy to just put on and get out the door. You can put on this and then just pop on a little of the Tower 28 blush, pop that on the cheeks, put a little bit of this on the lips, whatever is remaining on the crease. And I feel like these two would be a very easy like summertime go-to look. I did that at the beach recently when I went. Not with this, but anyway, I do feel like dry or oily skin, specifically if you're dry, this would be better for the summer, but oily year-round. Get what I'm saying? But $33, 18 shades. I feel like that's not a bad price, and you are getting the 1 fluid ounce. So we'll have to see how this wears. I will update the description box below, but right off the bat, I'm really liking it. I feel like everything is just nice and smoothed out. The setting powder was not cakey at all. Again, I do feel like it had that blurring type effect, so I do like this. However, I would definitely recommend getting the full size. The little mini sizes for $16, Heck no, you can get a whole other gram of product by paying less than half more for 30 bucks. So the powder foundation, if you get your right shade, I think this is bomb. Best powder foundation I have used ever. I do want to try the e.l.f. camo one. I've heard really good things about that, but this is super full coverage, specifically if you get the little puff that comes with it. I highly recommend, if you are getting the powder foundation, get the puff. This puff makes a difference. I promise. I've tried it with a powder brush, and then I have tried it with this. This makes it full coverage. But this is $33. There are 32 different shades. I feel like you could definitely find your shade in this. I just did a poor job of picking mine out. The little sponge is $14. The eyeshadow palette, again, I don't think this is really like a necessity. This is on sale right now for $22. I love this cream shade. Such a weird shade to like kind of point out in a palette, but it is so brightening, blurring. Again, I feel like even like putting this under your eye would be a great powder for that. But I love all of the mattes that you're getting in this, and again, great companion palette, and I do love this shade. Again, is it blue? Is it purple? Is it silver? We don't know. But yeah, these were really easy to work with, and this is a look that is definitely out of my comfort zone. 22 bucks, I would say yes. 44, all right. The little bronzer trio, I am actually really happy that I got the fair one, even though I was really concerned about these being too light. These actually worked really good on my skin, and right now, as I mentioned, I am a little bit darker than I normally am, so they come off darker on your cheeks than they do in the pan, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. 36 bucks, comes in 6 different varieties, all the way from fair to deep. Now, the blush clapper trios, love these. I love this little trio that I have on, and again, I have heard nothing about this one anywhere. This is the Rich Bitch one of the deeper ones, and it works on my skin tone. I love that you have the little cover for the cream product. I love that you have a matte and the shimmer. I have no highlight on my face right now, and you can see that glow that is coming from this like shimmery blush slash blush topper down here. But yeah, I think these are so nice. The next one that I cannot wait to try is actually this super bright one here. I think this is going to be gorgeous for summertime. If you would like to see me use this on my channel, please let me know. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it. Sorry that I have been away, but like I said, I kind of did like a little vacation one weekend, and then my husband was sick and hospitalized, so yeah, it just kind of put me behind. But I really enjoyed filming this for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.